Oh, you jump in a frozen river and you sit there for like X amount of time. I don't want a Wim Hof. I don't know if it's a verb or a noun.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Back Ups.
We're back up.
Bada bing, bada boom, baby.
We're here, man. Hey, I'm Timbo B. Davis, and I coach football. And he is
Connor B. Feckley, and I coach football.
And we're the backups.
We are the backups.
The backup. It's like a thing. It's like you get a case of like the backups.
Two words.
Two words. Two things are happening there. Hey, man, how you been?
Been good, man. It's been good.
Yeah.
I know I've seen you a bunch lately, but
We've seen a little bit of each other.
we have taken a little time off.
Yes,
But things are good. Things are good, man. How about yourself?
I'm doing awesome. Great season of football.
Great
We
season
just
of football.
went through a really good, one of my funnest years, and no disrespect to the previous.
No, I mean
to the previous years.
As a coach, you get that. Like I said, I mean, I was a player, for
Yeah.
you too, and
Yeah.
I get it, man. It was fun. It was a really fun year.
This was a special one, and I think, but this time of year is always cool. You get Halloween. We did Halloween with the kids. It was a good, it's that break that you get after.
It's a grind. I mean, it's a grind for
Yeah.
several months. I mean, and our season is much shorter than a lot of people. Anybody else is still in the middle of a season right now. Like I said, in the middle of a season, and we're just we're done. Playoffs done, state championship done, Shriner Bowl done. So we're hanging tight, man. We're podcasting.
We have the banquet coming up. Still got the end of the season.
the banquet.
Yeah.
The banquet. You're right.
And you do your thing with the seniors. Our goal is now to get the seniors out and off to college,
absolutely,
and
man. The fun stuff.
onto their next mission and whatever they do in life. It's Jets night in America. I know
is.
it's Friday with wherever you are watching. That's another thing that's going on. It's Jets night. Just in case you missed it, I got my. We'll talk about this here in a few minutes. There's the replica Super Bowl III. Because that's the last time we won this. That's the last time we were in the Super Bowl. But no, it's a good thing we got going on with Jets Night in America. Thursday night football is going on right now. Filming on Thursday.
Coming off a big win.
Big win. And who knows? Maybe another big win when you watch this on Friday, or maybe not.
Maybe not.
I think it was tied 7-7 when we started the show.
So that's where we stopped.
So,
and I was gonna say, I think the last time we were on, I think it was draft time. We were just going over like the excitement for Zach Wilson. So I guess before we do anything, let's just jump right into Jets football. What are we thinking about Jets football?
Let's talk Jets football because everybody joined this podcast
to see
for
about
Jets football.
football.
Mike White. Now the crazy part is he could be awful tonight. Mike White could have the worst night ever. I'm gonna be saying
he's got one touchdown so far.
He's got one touchdown and a hurt right hand or something. Came back in the game. Anyway, so the thing about Mike White that I saw last week with against the Bengals, one of the best teams in the AFC.
Very shocking.
Was the play calling was a little different, a lot more passing on first down, a lot more, and they even mentioned it in the broadcast tonight. So just hat tip to Troy Aikman. He did say that. Yeah, I had the stats on that. But I think the big thing about the Jets was different play calling, giving the quarterback a chance to throw the ball on first down, spread it out a little bit more. Easy throws early in the game, a lot of play action boot, hitting your check downs, hitting your boomerangs or whatever you call them, your flat routes.
Yep.
We call them boomerangs at Wells.
Boomerangs, yeah.
Big secret there, boomerangs. No, it was, I'm excited to see what the Jets can pull off here in the season. Moving forward with Mike White, the biggest thing is it allows Zach Wilson to grow up.
Yeah, which I think we can all agree he needs a little bit of time. He was thrown into the fire early, and I think it'll be good to give him a little bit of time. And as we've seen with Trey Lance and some other guys, so
I mean, rookies. You talk to me about being a rookie quarterback really quick. I know we're totally off script already.
We're totally off script, but we got excited.
Tell me about rookie. What would you? I mean, what are your thoughts on rookie quarterbacks?
And they've been fun. The rookie quarterbacks are good. I mean, I think all of them are going to be good. I think it just, it all depends on their situation. Trevor Lawrence is getting thrown in the fire, but he's still battling. I mean, you watch him play a game. He might not have a whole lot of wins, but he's had some really good throws. I mean, he's had some dumb throws too, but he said that's all rookie, and so good to see him get a win. As long as Justin Fields is really struggling, but he's still hanging in there. Mac Jones has been killer. He's been super fun to watch this year. He's just doing everything the Patriots have asked of him. So
isn't he he's like Bill Belichick made Mac Jones?
It made sense for him to go to like Alabama to New England. It's just he fits both of the profiles of the programs, and he's doing good, man. It's gonna be fun. The rookie quarterbacks have been good so far.
Enough Jets. Enough Jets. Enough rookies. one of the things we want to do is, kind of identify what this podcast is. We just talk football, we talk life, but we're both coaches. We love the game, but I think we both also love the holistic part of the game with the players and the interactions and
people,
and all that, and the people. Man, yeah, absolutely. And when you think people, I think one of the biggest skills people can have is gratitude. And so one of the things we talked about, let's start this show off with a little bit of daily gratitude. And it's been a whole season of life, literally, very, very literally. So we want to kind of catch you guys up a little bit of season of life before we just jump back in and do a bunch of football over the next however many months for how long season 2 goes. So let's start with you, my friend. What are you grateful for?
Man, well, since we were last on, I got a lot to be grateful for. But I'll start off by saying I'm very grateful for a beautiful, happy, healthy baby girl.
Yeah, buddy. Congratulations, baby girl.
Trin Rose Feckley was born October 6th.
Don't mess that up.
Yeah, no, I was making sure when we went in and everything. October 6th. She's been awesome. Her mother has been an absolute rock star, the most just amazing. And like I said, I know I asked you tons of questions when you had your kids and stuff, and it's, like I said, it's one of those things you can't explain until it happens to you. So much love for them, and on top of that, Grandma and Grandpa, that has been a huge help. So I just have a lot of gratitude towards my family and what they've been doing for me for the past month and everything with our new little girl in this world. So yeah.
Hats off to the ladies.
Absolutely.
In the world.
Holy smokes.
And
holy smokes.
And hats off to the grandparents.
Yes.
If you're fortunate enough to have grandparents in your kid's life.
Yes, man.
Like as a father and as a parent, it's unbelievable.
Cannot say enough. It has made the world of it. Except we're a month in, and it's already made a world of a difference, man. And I'm so excited for her to grow up and, like I said, to have a relationship with her grandma and grandpa and everything. And so we're very fortunate, very loved, and a lot of gratitude towards them. So,
that's awesome. That's a great gratitude right there.
That's
a
good.
really great gratitude.
It's real.
Yeah, no, it is real.
Man.
It's very real. We went screensaver on our background. I think we got to talk about it a little bit. We're in a new studio. We're in a new studio. We're gonna roll with it. We got the lock screen. We had all sorts of cool backgrounds and everything. But best laid plans.
Put a lot of time in this.
We put a little bit of time, but it'll be better than ever. This is our new home, our new studio. Studio 2.
Studio 2.
2B.
To be cleaned up, figured out, and
Studio
cooler
to be
soon.
Figured out.
What about you, man? What's your gratitude?
Oh man, it's tough for me not to be grateful about this season. The coolest thing about this season is that we were able to coach a bunch of guys post COVID.
Oh yeah.
When we last had our podcast, we were deep in the COVID world. And for us to complete a whole season, it's kind of a fraternity with all the coaches in the state and the nation that have figured this thing out and gotten through it. And so I'm really, really proud of that fact. And it was so much fun. This group was a lot of fun. We had at our school, West High School, maybe the most emotional win, followed by the most emotional loss in the playoffs.
It was a couple of rough back-to-back weeks there, man. That was
possibly imagine. And you know what? I just through the whole thing, I was just incredibly blessed. The kids were really, really cool. And then
so cool.
And then we got to coach the All-Star game.
Oh yeah.
And the All-Star game was amazing. And we got to coach the guys that beat us that beat us in the semifinals. And just the respect, the mutual respect between people.
I was going to say that was probably the coolest part. Like I said, obviously getting a chance to work with the kids is one thing, but the mutual respect that the players all had for each other. Obviously the two teams that played in that big game, but just across the state, all the different kids, man, that was just a really cool experience. Yep.
You just nailed it with saying, across the state, there was all these kids from the small schools, the medium schools, the large schools in Alaska. And as you can imagine, wherever you're watching from right now, Alaska is a very huge state.
Yeah.
But kids from Barrow, which geographically, just for those of you out of the state, that's like saying somebody from northern Texas or Oklahoma is in the same state as somebody from, say, Minnesota. Yeah, it's wild how north to south this state is, and east to west for that matter. And it was really cool to see kids that have just a different way of looking at the world and a different view on life and everything. So That was awesome.
It was fun,
I'm
man.
very, very grateful.
A lot of fun
for that experience. And I thank everybody involved, from Coach Brantley, who kind of organizes it from the coach's end, to the Alaska Shrine, who do really good things for kids with the Shriners hospitals across the U.S. So, grateful for coaching football.
Grateful for football, grateful for family, man. What else could we be grateful for?
There's a lot.
There's a lot.
But
yeah,
you're maybe watching this or listening to this, and you probably locked in here about football in theory. So let's transition to ball a little bit, or life. So check it. This is season 2. This is make it official. This is our first season.
It was a long break.
Long break. We with coaching ball, it's tough to. You really can't do it all.
Yeah,
I think that maybe that's something young coaches and all anybody in life can hear. You can't do it all. And I think that going into season 2 here, I'm really excited to get back into this a little bit because we have put a button on some of the stuff, and as we get set up here in studio to be named
and figured out,
the beach is nice. Though. Look at that beach back there. Anyway, as we settle into the studio, we can kind of turn key and really pump out an episode a week, which is kind of the goal.
Yeah. Get some more information out there, get some more guests on, get some more stuff going here. So absolutely.
And so anyway, but a lot's happened. And so you already brought up the expansion of the family.
The expansion of the family was the big one.
Talk to me, talk us through that, because there's coaches out there that are like, they're going to have their kids in the middle of a season. And you had your child, or
the week of the playoff game,
week of the first round of playoffs, the South game, which was unbelievable.
The craziest game, it was 48 hours from when my daughter was born. I was lucky that she was being good, mom was on board, and I sat at home for the first half, and then by about halftime, I couldn't take it. I had to get over to West and get there for the game, and man, I'm glad I did. What a game that was for us. But the entire process leading up to it, it was, hey, coach, if I get a call, I gotta go, and so it was prepping for that for a week. Over the summer, we had the All Alaska football camp, and I got a chance to talk with some college coaches that were up here for that camp, and were and hear their stories about when they had kids, and it was kind of similar experiences. A coach was talking about how he was running off the practice field, and he had his truck lined up, waiting so he could just get it, get in and get going. So it was tons of. A little bit of putting football stuff. I hey coach, I didn't quite get to all that. I was helping prepare for baby stuff a little bit and things like that. So luckily, I'm not I don't know how college coaches do it, man. The demand you guys have in the office and being around and doing stuff, and then having kids, more power to you, more power to your wives and the moms at home helping take care and hold it down for everything, man. Because it is wild. Yeah, I don't even know what else to say. Yeah. It's a wild experience.
That's pretty crazy. First of all, that week was wild. The game was wild. You have the kid. It's a lot. It's a lot of life.
Well, it's a mixture too. Obviously, playoff week. It's hurting not being at practice and not being able to be there. With the guys and leading up to it, because you work so hard all season long. And unfortunately, I was able to be there. And then, like I said, to have a chance to play South, having lost them earlier in the year and get that rematch and that kind of redemption game, and then to not be there. So there's always that side of things too, but obviously it was phenomenal and everything was good, and baby's amazing. And that's awesome. And
it's amazing how family and football and you know what, my gratitude, I'm not going to change it because I was very grateful, but you know what the coolest thing is that's happened in my life so far. And this kind of goes to what we're kind of talking about, life since the last episode.
Yeah.
My kids come on the field at the end of every game.
Oh yeah.
Arlo's got a football. He's playing tackle football with his sister. He's knocking her down. She's knocking him down. They got the tackling rings going on. It's
they're usually the last two off the field.
They are the last two off the field. Are you
dragging
kidding
them
me?
off the field every night?
How lucky did I get to have that situation? Cool. And so,
you got an awesome wife.
I got hats off to Mama Bear.
Yeah.
I think Malia, she keeps the thing going. So I think that's going to be a running theme for today's episode. Just talking about
thankful for the moms.
Thankful for the moms of the family. Mm-hmm. There's just something about that. There's something about how my dad is on the sideline for our games.
Every game,
and I can't express enough how cool it is. to have family around, and that's consistent. That's been for
Totally.
the last few years.
And it was cool, man. Yeah, he was one of the, when I showed up at the South game, he looked at me like he was just shocked, and gave me a huge hug and congrats and everything. So yeah, it's so cool.
Papa Davis is still he's somewhere between team mascot or chaplain or whatever you want to call him.
A little bit of everything.
He's the sideline
man.
guy, man. I love that
Absolutely.
guy. So it's a blessing to have him on the field. This is a football podcast. In theory, we're talking about football around the United States, including not just Alaska.
But before we get too deep into football, I do want to bring up.
Oh, we got more.
I'm not a baseball guy.
There we go.
Not a baseball guy.
Let's talk about it.
I gotta give myself a little bit of credit here, and I gotta throw some credit to you too. Now, I joined a fantasy baseball league this year.
You did.
Not knowing much about baseball. I always thought it was the most boring sport. I thought it was like watching two guys play catch. I thought like a no hitter was probably the most boring thing you could watch. Now, until I understood what baseball,
Yeah.
I have so much respect for it now. A no hitter would be probably one of the coolest things to ever see live. Like
Yeah,
totally
what?
flip my perspective. With that said, going into this fantasy draft, I had no idea what to do, who to get, what was important. Leaned out to the guy that I knows a little bit of baseball. And I basically, you were texting back and forth. I was like, who do I get? I was sending him photos. He was like with his wife. So I felt bad, but he took some time.
I don't feel bad.
And we got a pretty good lineup together. And I ended up going all the way and winning my fantasy baseball championship. And so thank you to my scouting director, I guess, or recruitment guy.
His scouting director
Coach
didn't
Davis.
make his playoffs in his league, so I didn't even make the playoffs in my
So
league.
yeah, I did
So-
I did make some trades. I picked up some guys, dropped some guys, but it all worked out.
Yeah.
So but a
Good.
little bit of credit to there. I said to shout that out.
You did a darn good job yourself. You did better than I did. I was about halfway through the year, and you're like, I'm in first place, and I'm like, I'm not.
I didn't want to talk about it, and you were just like, "Yeah, man, I'm pretty much over fantasy baseball."
fantasy baseball.
It was fun.
Cool
I'm all
that
in.
is.
I'm all in. So
Hey, fantasy baseball's addicting though.
yeah, someone, if you guys need an extra guy next year, let me know. I'm pretty in.
It's kind of like the stock market. It's up and down. And
I
when
was on
you're-
it all the time. It's
Yeah.
just it's never ending. It's pretty fun, and now we got football going, we got basketball going, but that's another day. It's another day.
You do
Fantasy sports,
fantasy basketball.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
fantasy basketball. Is, like I said, another day.
Okay.
Talk about another day.
Talk about another day. Okay, we're on to football.
Back to football.
Back to football. Let's go backwards. Let's start with the NFL and work backwards to high school. Or do you want to go the other way?
I'm just kidding. I don't care.
Do you? Okay.
Do you want to? I was just. I
That
just.
was so authentic.
Because I looked down and I
That
saw.
was so authentic.
I was gonna just. I thought we were gonna. I just want to bring up like Bishop Sycamore and just kind of get that out the way because I thought that was the funniest thing. And
Since we've been
every
gone,
coach, every
we've
coach.
been gone, so much has happened.
What else in the high school
Bishop
world aside
Sycamore
from
has happened.
outside of Alaska high school football? I mean, Bishop Sycamore for us has been pretty big in the sense of like on the stage.
It's definitely on a stage.
Pretty
it's
wild.
A stage.
Pretty wild.
It's a
I
stage.
don't even know if we need to talk about it. It was the only thing I wrote down for outside of like Alaska football. So
Oh no. Yeah.
for high school at least.
My biggest thing is I kind of brought it up in the gratitude. I think coaches around the United States have been scrambling, and we're going to do, some of the things that are come up. We're going to talk about, coach this season, coaching mental health. I think is going to be one of the things we talk about. Not like coaching it, although that's something to be said, because we had a mental health coach, mental strength coach,
Coach Fry.
Coach Fry, and he led yoga sessions. He helped kids
Breathing exercises.
get them when they were seeing red and angry or if they were just having to deal with conflict. We did that. That's going to be a whole episode. I think that's what we get him on for that.
Yeah, we'll get it on. But
I
it's
think-
super, super cool stuff. I think was super beneficial for the kids all year long.
Yeah.
I think after the kids kind of realized what was going on, they looked forward to it every week. They looked forward to seeing Coach Fry, and they almost, relied, like they would just come to the sideline themselves and go see Coach Fry.
Yeah.
So you could see the benefit that was going on. But like I said, we'll dive more into that. Super interesting stuff.
No, that's a whole episode in and of itself. But Coach Fry, I think the big thing with what we discovered there was that the kids and people across the United States there's still some struggles going on.
It's wild, man. It's yeah.
To recognize some of that stuff. Again, when I think about high school football, I think about leading young men through a really difficult time. Usually it's wins and losses on a field, which is a difficult time. And we went through some of the hardest we've ever been through this year. But across the nation, coaches were leading their kids through, kids missed time because of COVID.
In every state, it was a different situation. I mean, absolutely, for different reasons. Like I said, and then on top of COVID. So yeah, absolutely.
And it hammered us up here pretty bad. The state did not fare well of COVID during our season. But the cool thing is that what we did see was the spread was relatively low in the high schools. The season was able to keep going. We had, the mask thing in the building for kids back in school. So I think
kids were safe, man. We got to play ball, and kids are in school. They're not at home. We aren't having any of those issues. I think the mental health part of it all is great. Like I said, you got to be in school with kids all day, and then they got to go play football, and everyone's healthy and things are going good. So absolutely.
And there were absolutely still tragedies. There were still people that passed away. People that got sick. I don't want to belittle that.
No, absolutely.
But I think what needs to be understood when you take a look at high school football, especially,
for the athletes,
there's something to be said about the kids just getting out of the house. I think it was really, really important for them.
Oh yeah,
it was a bit of a survival deal for them. So, but that was my high school point. NCAA, what's your point? What you got?
Man, there's a bunch of different stuff in the NCAA this year, man. It's been exciting this year. Obviously, with Georgia kicking some butt early, Clemson kind of falling down. Just the rankings have been different. I'm really, really interested to see how all the recruiting is going to start being affected with the NIL, right? Is that the NIL stuff?
Name, image, and likeness.
Name, image, and likeness stuff. It's going to be interesting to how it's going to affect high school seniors, like we saw with the Ohio State kid already, foregoing his senior year to go get paid, 7 figures and be the 4th or 5th string quarterback at Ohio State. Now, hey, the kid's a dude. I'm not trying to take away. I'm just like, it's just wild. It's just a wild world we're living in. I think that could be a whole episode in itself. But the only other big college thing I had was I absolutely called it that Spencer Rattler was going to get benched.
You did.
I told you. I told you. I was not a fan, and that was my thing. That's all I got for that.
I don't know about his ball on the field. I'm not even going to get to that. I mean, that's what got him benched.
Yeah. Well, it came out with like the high school thing, where he got the video cameras on his face, and so you got to see the type of kid he was and everything, and not just him, I mean everybody else, but he just got like the spotlight. With social media nowadays, that can really be any kid with how much stuff they got on, and so I think it was a big example. He just obviously was in like the limelight of it, of being the the poster child of that class and what it's going to look like moving forward for kids that, if you're going to be on all social media and you're going to be getting a chance to get money, you got to have some kind of following, and everything you do is going to matter. Your personality, your character, and that stuff's going to carry weight too with how you get recruited.
Well, and so that's kind of what I was getting at. Man, I watched the QB1 Under the Lights. Is that the one he was on?
Yeah.
You can still, I think it's still on Netflix. You can still go back and watch it. That was tough to watch, man. And it was like but
no, hey, he's a 17-year-old kid.
That's what I was going to get to.
And you understand that, and it's just like, and I'm sure.
I don't think America does though. I think we really, really like to hate Spencer Rattler because of how the show maybe
made him portray or whatever. Yes, totally.
I don't know him I could not tell you anything about his real personality. The reality,
and that's
TV.
kind of our point. Exactly what we're kind of trying. Yeah, and that's just kind of what we're saying is. But you got enough of you got an opinion of him, and it kind of and has he been able to keep that same opinion of him at Oklahoma? Because everybody, when he went there, everybody watched it. Everybody, got a chance to see it. So he had to kind of stick with who he was, or he's going to have to change up and be like, hey, I was a 17-year-old kid. Now, at the end of the day, you can always grow up and say, hey, I was a young kid, and that, that's awesome. Hopefully, he said he leaves Oklahoma a better man, and Lincoln Riley did his job. This humbling experience for Spencer Rattler might be the best thing that ever happened to him. You know what I mean? Like I said, I went through it. I mean, my senior year, I got benched, and it was like, it sucked. It absolutely sucked. But you learn a lot about yourself. You learn there's tons and tons of lessons that I learned that I would never trade. I'd never trade. And like for good thing for Spencer Rattler, he's not a senior. Whether he stays at Oklahoma or decides to transfer and go start somewhere else, which he easily could. His talent, his skill set is definitely able to. So he'll give himself another opportunity. But I think there's a lot of, like you said, there's a lot he can learn from this opportunity, and I think it helps a lot of kids moving forward. Like there's always somebody getting recruited behind you, man. Like it's always going to happen.
Yeah, and I really, at the end of the day, wish the best for the guy. Wherever he ends up, whether he stays or wherever he ends up, I really do wish the best. And like you said, I hope this is a learning experience and it's good. And I don't know if I would have said that a year ago. A year ago, I'd have been like, oh man, here's the Spencer Rattler deal. It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, no doubt.
But we'll see. I am rooting for him, despite, because again, it's that teacher in me that just says, man, I hope this is the learning thing that goes from there. NCAA.
Kiffin's fun.
Kiffin's a lot of fun, man.
Kiffin's a lot of fun.
Got his guys vaccinated.
Oh, yeah.
Tony Franklin's podcast, he loves him. He talks about all these. Coach
Tony
of the year.
Franklin, man.
Coach of the year, man, is what Tony says because he got his guys
It's
vaccinated.
pretty cool, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially in a state like Mississippi. I mean, down
Absolutely.
there. That's, yeah.
Taking care of his kids. And he has fun throwing clipboards in the air.
Catching the water bottle at Tennessee, crowd throwing stuff at him, all that wild. I mean, he
Don't throw things at coaches.
Yeah, don't throw things at coaches. But he's a party wherever Coach Kiffin's at.
Yeah,
there's a party going on.
Football's fun. Life is short. You got to enjoy it. It shouldn't be drudgery. And there's definitely, we've all gone through seasons that have been drudgery and difficult.
Yes,
Kiffin making it fun yeah. No,
he's good
cool.
on Twitter, man. He's a good follow
really
on
good
Twitter.
on Twitter.
Good follow on Twitter.
He's really good on Twitter. Check it out. NCAA for me, playoffs. Let's talk about the college playoff poll.
Yeah, that's weird.
Lots of controversy there.
This was like the first official first four in or whatever type deal, right?
Yeah.
I think they just did it to mix the pot, to get everybody going, to get everybody riled up. Michigan State had a great win. They probably do deserve being undefeated. I think it's it's crummy for a program like Cincinnati. Who were back-to-back years.
Talk about Cincinnati.
And I know it's kind of like UCF in a way, but Cincinnati looks a lot more legit in my mind than UCF did.
Cincinnati is more legit.
I mean,
to me, I think Cincinnati is more legit than 19 UCF?
Yeah, or
18?
Something like
17?
that. Like Bortles,
yeah,
whatever. But totally. And I think by, will the Pac-12 be in? Will the Big Ten? Will there two SEC teams? It's gonna be wild. I think, like I said, the year of only 4 being in is gonna come to a close here shortly, and every year we just keep proving why we need a bigger playoff, give these guys more opportunities. And like I said, with all the recruiting and all the different money going to be thrown around everywhere, I think the recruiting is going to be a lot more spaced out. Yeah. So I think there's going to be a chance for a lot more of these, Cincinnati's or something to go beat an SEC team and get a chance. At least get a first round win and then maybe go lose in the second round or something, but it'll be fun.
No, that's a great point about the evening things out. And I think that one of the frustrating things about people that want to see it evened out is it me or does Alabama have to lose 2 games before we consider them a 1-loss team?
Oh, absolutely. Because so much of it is based off the eyeball test. You look at Alabama, how are you going to vote those guys out? They had hey, if they go and they beat Georgia in the SEC championship with 1 loss, then they and Georgia's undefeated. Yeah, they should be there. Hey, 2 losses. It's hard to put 2 losses out.
But 2 loss Bama is like a 1-loss team that lost a game that they shouldn't have lost somewhere in there, and I get that, and I just feel like we're on the multiple
it's
SEC
different.
team.
It's hard. You look at Wake Forest right now, undefeated in the ACC. Now they still got to play, I think, NC State, North Carolina, and Clemson. Yeah. Now, can they stay undefeated? Now maybe Clemson's not as strong. North Carolina hasn't had the year that they've had. But if they finish the year undefeated with an ACC championship, is an undefeated record in the ACC better than a 1 loss in the SEC? Or a 1 loss out of the big, you know what I mean? So there's all that kind of stuff. I doubt it will happen that way. But you can say there's just so much controversy for how things could go.
I think the SEC is just a different league. They're just in a different.
And once Texas and Oklahoma gets in there soon enough, too, if there wasn't all this new NIL money. Because kids are going to get different opportunities all over the place. They're going to get they're going to get paid a lot of money. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, are kids going to care more about playing, or are they going to care more about just getting paid and not having to play at all?
They're going to care about being an NCAA 23 from EA Sports, or 24 or 25.
So do you want to be the 4th guy on the roster, or do you want to go somewhere else where you can be a starter? Yeah. Maybe not at the highest level, but you're going to get paid like you are.
Yeah. Interesting.
It's going to be crazy.
New world we live in. I'm not a college coach. I can't imagine it right now.
Any college coaches who would love to come talk to us and just speak your mind about it or anything,
We need to do a college coach NIL chit chat.
Yeah. We'll have to do a little chit chat.
Talk to
It's
us.
going to be interesting. I'd love to
Talk
hear
to
some
us.
ideas.
And the Papa
Especially
John's.
from like Division 1 to Division 2 to Division 3.
Absolutely.
Like how the difference is. I mean,
Well, one will be advertising for like
a D3 guy's like, hey, man,
Domino's or pizza, and the other will be advertising for like
we can get you like the
Mickey's down in the corner.
like the local shoe barn. Once you put you a poster up of you.
Now, I would absolutely, if we could NIL our way into a Beartooth sponsorship. Beartooth, best pizza in town in Anchorage, Alaska. Moose's Tooth, Beartooth.
Yep.
Can we NIL?
We'll figure it out.
Our name, image, and likeness on. I don't think they need us.
They, you never know.
Little Caesars.
Nope. Little Caesars.
Little Caesars. We've been talking about advertising
Where you guys at?
sponsorships.
Where you guys
we
at?
happen to know a former head coach in the city.
Former.
Retirement. Hats off to you, Walt Harmon.
Hats off.
We'll talk about that more in a later episode. We'll have a retired.
Sounds like
coaches
it's got to be a pizza joint though.
It's got to be pizza.
Got to be a pizza
That's
joint.
where your name, image, and likeness should go. Is the pizza.
All the pizza.
Oh my goodness. Okay, there we go. NFL. We got to talk about NFL. We got a few more minutes here.
Chiefs lost their star power. Order an Uber. DBs are hard to come by. Rookie wide receivers are fun to watch.
Yep.
And you can never have enough quarterbacks.
True.
That's kind of like the rundown.
That's a really good rundown.
And, I didn't even talk about the bigs. Tom is still throwing the ball all over the field. I think I'm about to I'm not that old yet, but like I'm about to go get all the TB12 stuff and just start for my everyday life. Like if he's 44 years old, and able to do all these things in the NFL and get hit by those guys, I didn't want to go play in the adult league because I don't want to get tackled anymore. I don't want to get hit. I want to play flag football, you know? And so it really is impressive how he's able to keep his body, the discipline, with a supermodel wife and everything he's got going on to keep that discipline, to keep playing football at a high level, to keep everybody, his teammates, everybody so engaged. It's just Tom Brady's good for the NFL, for sure. Rookie quarterback's been fun. Some
of my favorite stories are quarterbacks in the league right now. I think Carr I think let's talk about Carr now because it connects with the tragedy with Ruggs.
Yeah.
We had Mercer on the show and he talked about his struggles with that stuff. Go back and check that episode out from season 1.
Yep.
But what Derek Carr said about that guy needs someone to love him right now. And look, there's a tragedy and there's a family that's lost a family member in this whole situation. But for Derek Carr to come out and speak to his teammate, who he has not talked and spoken to at the time of that press conference. If you haven't watched it yet, go back and find Derek Carr's interview or his press conference on this.
Derek Carr is the type of leader that you want on your football team, just the guy you want in your corner. I mean, and he's spoken on not this incident, but on other incidents in the past with Gruden, with all sorts of things where he's gone to bat with his guys. He's always been there for him, and like I said, he doesn't go there to prove it to us or to anybody else in the media. He said, I'm going to prove it to Ruggs. There's no one else that needs to know about it or that matters. And that's like I said, the most authentic, real thing that you can have from a leader at the quarterback position.
Can we just make so you get the C's on the jerseys?
Yeah.
Some guys get them because their contracts are more expensive than other contracts.
Or they're just good on the field.
They're just good on the field. Derek has earned his C on his jersey
chest.
For life.
You get tatted on his chest.
He's the NFL captain of the year. I don't know how. All the
stuff they're going through there.
Oh my gosh! And it's
in Las Vegas right now. That team, that program, and then they're at the top of the AFC West now.
I think they are. Yeah.
So I've always been a good Derek Carr fan just for his play on the field, and obviously what he does off of it. But I'm just continuing to be a huge fan of his. Man, he's just been a phenomenal guy, and hopefully the Raiders can keep hanging on him to have a good season.
I won't root for him when they're playing the men of Gotham Green. That sounds so stupid. I won't root for him. It was pretty dumb. I won't root for him that, but it's hard for me to not root for the Derek Carr and what he's done. Even before, like early in the season, some of his stuff he was talking about with his receivers and how he believed in his guys. And how
back when they had the training camp show, whatever, and they had Antonio Brown was there, and they were going over all that Hard Knocks. Thank you. Going over all that
training
stuff.
Camp show.
Yeah,
that's a good
training
name
camp
of it.
show.
Yeah.
But also, to the flip gears, Von Miller just went to the Rams.
Holy cow! So I was
gonna say, like 2 months ago, I was sitting there playing like Madden 18 or 19 or something.
Yeah.
And I was doing a fantasy draft, and my first 2 picks was one Aaron Donald, and the next round was Von Miller
and Jalen Ramsey in the back end.
And I couldn't do it in my fantasy draft because Jalen Ramsey was gone, But it's like they're all on the same team. Like there are like a fantasy draft defense. Seattle, come on, do something.
So one thing Move the Sticks has talked a ton about is the fact that the Rams organization goes after players, proven players, not draft picks. They're willing to give away. And you know what? When you think about it, they said something really cool. And it's totally, check out Move the Sticks podcast on this trade. But they were talking about they would like to see the players that were picked up using the draft picks that the Rams have traded away compared to the players that they've gotten through those draft picks. And I mean, in just this season, going back to Stafford and Goff, you have
obviously they've hit on all of them,
Yeah.
But they said they did their homework. They invested in what they knew they were going to get.
Yep.
Rather than a future pick on potential. And
known quantities are something to be said about the NFL. And so this brings me to my big NFL point. And it actually maybe is my big football point for the day. Experience and practice matter.
Oh, yes. I always say that. Experience.
So Mike White, great example. And again, this is so awful because literally the game's on right now, and he could be throwing an interception and fumbles, and it could be awful.
To jet examples.
There's something in the water there, obviously, that develops great quarterbacks and butt fumbles. But what Mike White did last game, tons of checkdowns. He understood the offensive system very clearly.
Well,
he was given more opportunities to throw.
What was it last week? There was 3 backup quarterbacks that came in.
Yes.
And all won. I mean, Trevor Siemian came in with the Saints.
Yep.
Like you said, not your typical, starting quarterback, but a lot of experience, and a lot of NFL experience. And that came in and made a difference. Yeah. And same with Dallas, with their quarterback, Cooper Rush or whatever.
Cooper Rush.
Same guy. I mean, out of the NFL, been in the NFL for 4 years. So he has a little bit of experience of what the game speed is like and the understanding of the lingo and those type of things. It's hard. Like I kept telling Bear fans, calm down with the Justin Fields stuff, man. He ain't going anywhere. You're paying the redhead a lot of money to be there, and he's still a pretty good quarterback. And then Justin Fields goes in there and he just gets throttled, man. Like the poor kid. I think his first game he had like 1 positive yard or something because he got sacked 10 times or whatever it was against the Browns. So I mean, it's a hard experience, and obviously getting thrown into a situation like that, it's a lot harder to deal with and come back from. So yes, I think experience matters. Giving the guy time to get used to it and get in the game helps, man, because it's got to be hard to get your butt kicked like that for 4 or 5 weeks, mentally, physically, and then you got the city of Chicago just yelling at you. It's a lot to put on a kid. I mean, Zach Wilson with New York City yelling at him. I mean, that's a lot of pressure on a guy from BYU.
They're not yelling for him now. Now. He's got a little vacation.
He's got a little bit of a break. I think the coaches are smart to give him that break, man, because it's a lot of mental side of things.
PCL.
Well, PCL did help with that.
But I'm hoping.
Well, coaches go in and bring in a quarterback coach. They're doing things to help him however they can to make, put him in the best possibility to win, which is, I think, is so important.
Let's talk Niners before we get too far. Let's talk Niners. What are your thoughts? Trey Lance, Jimmy Garoppolo, where are we at?
I mean, like I said, Trey had to play because Jimmy got hurt, but Trey's the same deal. I mean, he only had like 1 year or so, he hadn't played in a long time. You know what I mean? And he played at NDSU, which is the same deal, a little bit of a lower level football. I mean, still good football, but not, in the SEC or something, which obviously that's why I thought Jalen Hurts was going to be great coming in. 3 to 4 year starter in the SEC, where some of those stadiums are bigger and louder than they are in the NFL. The Seahawks need better O-linemen and a different running back if they want Russell Wilson to stay there next year. Because Chris Carson can't stay healthy.
Nope.
They don't have a reliable running back, a backup running back, and the offensive line is still pieced together. So they need to battle some injuries. Russ needs to get that finger figured out, get back out there, because your boy Geno is not the answer. Great backup quarterback. He's been sitting there in Seattle for 3 or 4 years, and maybe he's had to play a couple snaps. It's been good, living life nice there in Seattle. But when it was time to go, man, aside from when he played Jacksonville, which was awesome.
How long can Russell be elite, though? How much longer does he have?
Yeah, I think he's the type of dude where he could very much have like the Brady effect, where he's gonna like totally go into discipline mode where he doesn't eat any sugar and he's playing for another 10 years.
Doesn't eat any sugar.
I could totally see it, man.
I can see it too.
Like,
He's disciplined.
That guy, he named his son Win.
Yeah.
You know, like he wants to go win another championship.
Well, I think the Shanahan system is notorious for reviving or bolstering up quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Towards the end of their career or the beginning of their career. It's very quarterback friendly in that sense. A lot of the play action stuff. With that said, one interesting thing that has emerged is these defenses, when they play the Shanahan system, it's all about a DN play.
Oh, yeah.
And so what are the DNs doing? Are you going to give up the backside cut on stretch or wide zone, whatever you call it? Or are you going to sell out for when you get play action and smack the quarterback? So last week, we saw the Bengals going against the Jets with the Shanahan system. So we call it that, right? Shanahan system. I'm excited to do a whole episode on
the Shanahan system.
Well, condensed splits and formations, talk our favorite stuff, to do out of that, because we did a lot of that this year, and I fell in love with it big time.
Oh, yeah.
I really had my eyes opened on some things, so that's a whole episode in and of itself. But we saw the Bengals sell out for the run, not necessarily the play action.
Yep.
And we saw the play action hurt them early, especially early in that game, and it gave Mike White a rhythm. So DN play is really important. So the reason I say this is because Russell Wilson could turn around at some point and get a face full of end of career. You know what I mean?
Unfortunately, yeah.
And I don't know that's not necessarily what the Shanahan system is known for yet, is getting quarterbacks broke off on naked bootlegs. But I'm seeing a future where you're going to see quarterbacks getting broke off, running naked bootlegs over and over again, trying to set up the big play. So, man, you get a early in their career play caller, and you get a late in their career quarterback who might not be as mobile, and they're going to get a D end, a Von Miller, coming off the edge, who his job is not to chase down the run on the backside, and there's going to be a guess, and one bad guess and one good guess is gonna be a painful lesson, and with a quarterback who's aging, it's just a little different. So I think the same thing about Stafford.
Yeah.
I love what the Rams are doing. I love Matt Stafford.
Stafford's been so much fun to watch.
He's so much fun to watch.
Oh my gosh!
But
yeah.
I wonder because that seems to be right now the NFL's chess game when they're playing these teams. Send a dude off the edge and just say you're gonna lose. And the Jets haven't been super good on. We ran well last week. We did okay.
Shout out Michael Carter.
Shout out Michael Carter, who was, again, rookie, super young. But we're seeing if you just are relying on that run game, or if you can't rely on that run game and the backside DN can come upfield, it's a different deal. Something to consider when you're playing a team that can run some nakeds. Or will run nakeds for their big shots and stuff like that. 4-down territory.
So that was the backup. Here we go. Back to 4-down territory.
We're back to 4-down territory. I don't think I'm editing that out. That was beautiful. We're going.
Yeah, that was good, rolling. Man. That was good.
It's fun football. We really don't have. We had a script, kinda. It's season 2. We're just getting back.
Just how can we stay a little bit organized?
We're a little bit organized, especially we're on the beach. We're on the beach
in November in Alaska.
In Alaska. All right, 4-down territory. Who's going first?
I'll go first.
All right, let's do it.
First question.
Okay.
Your favorite superhero?
I love me some Doctor Strange. Spins the thing. Stephen Strange spins the thing. He's kind of arrogant. I don't like that, but I don't know. There's something cool about him. He's like a wizard. Doctor Strange.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I don't think I would have guessed that.
I would. I don't know. No, because Star-Lord is because Chris Pratt's kind of like my spirit animal.
Chris Pratt's a good dude.
He seems like a cool guy. I like
Chris Pratt. Hey, we saw the little documentary show you did with the basketball up here in Alaska and the Native Villages, man.
I forgot about that aspect. It's total
You
spirit
want to come on and
animal.
talk about it? Let us know.
Anyway, so I can't say Star-Lord. I feel like that's too...
Geeky?
No, it's too mean. It's too obvious.
I don't know what he's
it's
talking
too
about.
obvious. I'm going to Dr. Stephen Strange.
All right.
Spin that wizard wheel.
Wizard wheel. All right, you're moving on here. Number 2. If you had a boat, what would you name it?
Easy. The SS Rowan.
All right, well, there you go.
I get it right.
All right.
Row the boat, baby.
All right,
Actually,
all
no,
right.
I'm not a Minnesota fan.
Okay, get your PJ Fleck on.
Yeah, no, I'm not a Minnesota fan. We'll talk about that.
7-year extension.
I know.
Row that boat, man, all the way to the
Man.
bank.
He's making some money.
Row
He's
that
making
boat to
some
the
money.
bank.
I have my reasons.
Yeah, exactly. Different
I have my
day.
reasons.
Different
Different
day.
episode. Different
All right,
episode.
number three. What Alaskan activity are you doing with Ted Lasso? He came over the pond. He's up here visiting Alaska, and you got a whole day to do something with him. What are you and Ted Lasso doing? What Alaskan activity are you showing him?
I don't know if it's an Alaskan activity, but shout out to these guys out in I think they're Bartlett teachers. They're into this Wim Hof thing. Have you seen Wim Hof?
Sounds like a beer.
It's not. You jump in a frozen river and you sit there for X amount of time. Look it up, Wim Hof. And I can just see, and I don't want a Wim Hof. I don't know if it's a verb or a noun. It's a guy's name.
It's a
so
beer.
It's a noun.
It sounds like a beer
It's not
still.
a beer. It's
All
Wim
right.
Hof. Check it out.
We'll look at the
I
beer.
don't want to do it, but I can see Ted Lasso and Coach Beard sitting in Eagle River.
I could see him too.
Just sitting there taking on the cold. That's the most Ted Lasso thing he would do in Alaska. It's like the Polar Bear Club, except you do it for I think it's like a discipline. I don't want to besmirch it or
right.
talk down. I don't want to talk
All right,
down
here
on
we go.
Wim Hof.
I'll do a spin-off.
Oh my gosh.
If it's summertime, what activity are you doing with Ted Lasso?
Oh, summertime.
Just add it to it.
I think
Maybe not everybody wanna go jump in a river.
Take them out and take pictures of the bears. Don't jump with the bears. Don't get in with the bears. But
No
I think Ted Lasso
rivers.
having a bear encounter that ends well and can be
Ted,
fun.
if you're watching, come on over and see some bears and
his
hang out,
name
man.
his name isn't Ted. You know that, right?
Well, it's for the show. So Ted
Ted
Lasso,
I
come
got
show
you.
up.
I'm sorry.
Jason,
You get-
all right, sorry, Jason, come hang out with us whenever you want, man.
Star-Lord,
Yeah.
come. Just
Like what? I'm not gonna ask. Reach out to the actual. We have a lot more luck reaching out on Twitter to
would
Ted
say-
Lasso than we do to
I
Jason
think we get
Sudeikis.
Sudeikis. We get him up here. Get him on the show. We're shooting big. I don't know what we talk about.
Well,
Ted
that's why
Lasso?
we gotta invite Ted Lasso to the show.
Okay, fair enough.
He's
All
gotta
right.
come in character.
There we go. Okay, fair.
I'm gonna make it happen now.
Now that's a bet.
Ted Lasso is
It's
he's a very active Twitter account. Now,
Shut
I
up.
don't know if it's
No,
Jason
really?
Sudeikis or not.
Is
Probably
it
not.
like a check mark and everything? It's got to be run by
no,
Apple
it is
or whoever does it.
probably, but
Yeah.
they do a very good job of making it all very Ted Lasso tweets. So
Okay.
hop on, check it out. If you haven't seen Ted Lasso on Apple TV, go check it out, man.
I gotta say, we need to do
It's a
an
phenomenal
episode on sports shows.
Yeah.
because I actually hate sports movies and sports media. Because I find it fake.
Yes.
usually. But
It's
Ted
a
Lasso's got
whole
a
nother show.
special place in my heart.
You don't have to be a sports fan to love Ted Lasso,
you
man.
don't.
It's-
Ted Lasso's
they,
good television.
they did a great job
They
with
do-
that.
They do a really good job.
So then my last and final
Ooh,
question
fourth
is,
down, convert it.
what is your best girl dad advice?
The time is everything. The quality time, not. You know what? This isn't a girl dad advice. This is probably just dad advice. Just I need to work on this myself. I need to talk to myself on this. Put the phone down a little bit. I think especially when they're this age, I don't want my kids.
yeah.
I don't want my kids to think
and
that
we're all
I have
guilty of
this.
that.
Yeah, this weird relation. I don't want my kids to if I were to disappear and die, that's awful. I hope I don't die.
Knock on wood.
I know. I don't want them to remember a guy who was always looking down at his little screen. That's what I don't want. And so I think the best thing is when you're there with them, be there with them. Yeah.
That was good, man.
Yeah.
Fourth down converted.
Fourth down. Got it. Pick it up. All right, here we go. First down. Do.
Hit me.
Swaddle or diaper, which one would you rather do?
Like, what would I rather have to?
You have to execute the perfect swaddle. Or maybe I should just say you have to clean the most atomic diaper or execute the most perfect swaddle. Which one do you feel comfortable with?
I do not have that swaddle down. I do not have it down yet. The full on wrap him up where she just is held on.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I do not have that one down yet.
Yeah, that's an important skill.
That is that is definitely more mom right now. So at this point in time, 4 weeks in, I've gotten pretty good at cleaning diapers in 4 weeks. So I think I'll have to take the diaper. But if she keeps on the pace she is, I think I might have to figure out that swaddle here pretty soon.
Yeah.
Because the diaper thing's getting, a little a little crazy. She gets it from her father, so.
Yeah. It's good. That's good. Second down. I'm going to sticking with, I got 2 family, I got 2 football.
Cool.
Second down. The most vivid thing you'll remember in the birth experience, not necessarily like the time of birth, but like just through the whole, from water break, time to go to hospital to babies in your arms. What's the vivid thing in your mind? Because vivid thing.
Basically just like the room, just like being there, like in those the final hour where like everything kind of started like really getting real, obviously, and I just remember like one of the things I guess I'll never forget is how right when Trim was born, like the room is filled with doctors. You got the NICU and you got the nurses and you got doctors and you got the backup. And this room is just filled, and it's just like kind of crazy. And obviously with COVID and everything, you don't have family in there on top of that. Yeah. And I'm thinking to myself like, man, this room is packed. And like I'm helping Jen and we're getting this thing, and all of a sudden Trina's out and she's on the tummy, and I'm just having like a second. And then I look up and like the room was empty. Like everybody was gone. There was like one nurse, and we're just like, what do I do? And so like that part is like very vivid, where it's like the healthcare workers, that's just their job.
Yeah.
Like that, like I said, that moment in my life is very vivid. Every moment is like this crazy, I'll never forget that. And for them, it was just like, that's what they do every single day, man.
Next.
Yeah. And then they had to leave because they got to go to the next room and deliver another baby. So like, and hats off to the staff there at Providence. My gosh, were they amazing.
They do a good job.
That was a phenomenal experience. Everything was awesome. But yeah, I think the most vivid thing was just kind of like looking at Jen, all this craziness stuff going on. Baby's out, baby's healthy, Jen's good, room's like empty again. Like he said, it was just kind of that crazy how everything's so wild to everything just being like, all right, and so that part was still pretty crazy to me.
I think it was the water bottle. Did you get the water, the mug? It's like the big straw.
Yes, we do have that too. Yeah, I got that too.
I think we finally lost ours or something. That to me, like,
still sitting by the bed.
I vividly remember getting ice in that thing.
Oh yeah, getting ice in there all the time.
I mean, I should have like a more emotional memory than the mug.
Yeah. At first, I was like, "What's the talking about?"
The plastic cup,
the plastic mug for water for the moms.
Yeah,
no, you're right though. That
that's legit.
No, I use it all the time now at home. Yes. I share it with Jen, and we use it all the time. I think it's awesome.
It's great.
So
I was very hydrated during the birth of my children.
Yeah, absolutely. Good water there in the hospital.
Most emotionally draining, end of the world loss in football.
Like as a player or coach or anything?
Anything before the season. Anything, before the season. Biggest loss. The loss that just was like icky. Tough to deal with.
Biggest loss. I mean, I have ones from college.
Yeah. Go, college. What you got?
Definitely the college game against probably my junior year, because we had a great team and we should have had a better day that day. And I missed some throws that I can still see perfectly that I wish I could have back. Because I think if I just did those couple throws, it's a totally different outcome. Yeah. We beat that team. And that was like at the midway point of the year. That wasn't necessarily even like the championship or anything. It was a game though that definitely had a huge outcome on how the rest of that season went, and is definitely a game I will never forget. Against there that day, I think it was homecoming too. So it was a big day. I think we were both undefeated. It was those ones hurt. Thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah. Well, let's flip it. Fourth down, convert this thing. Let's go out. Let's stay with college at Dubuque. The most uplifting, incredibly crazy, wild victory you've ever been a part of at the collegiate level.
We had two good ones. I think probably my senior year playing against Bethel in Rochester, Minnesota. Or no, somewhere in Minnesota. Closer to, maybe it was right in St. Paul. It was right in St. Paul, Minnesota. Triple overtime against a team that we had played the year before and had like an absolute shootout against. And went back there. It was like 96 and humid as hell. We were all drained by the end of the game. I remember we ended up going into overtime. Ended up winning barely. We had some crazy overtime wins in college, actually. Undefeated in overtime.
Really?
So I think we had 3 or 4 wins. So that's aside.
That's
I'm proud of that. I'm just saying I'm proud of that.
That's good.
That was a pretty wild thing. But I just remember being so drained and so like, just like defense, come on, make a play, and because they had helped me out earlier in that game, so it was like back and forth, and we ended up getting it done. We got the win, and I remember after that game on the way back home on the bus, I was so dehydrated, I got so sick, and I was like throwing up like in the bathroom on the back of the bus, like absolutely a mess. Like our offensive linemen, they all sat in the back, like they all felt bad because I was just like this dead quarterback, and I think I threw up and passed out, and I slept the entire 5 hours.
You threw for like 500 yards that game, right? 600.
That was the year before. That was the game the year before. So this is my senior year.
Got you.
So yeah, not as many yards thrown, but still a great game. But just absolutely, it was just such a fulfilling. It was a start off our senior year. Start off 1-0 against a really good team, and to just go out there and like all our guys were so dead. We were just so drained, and it felt so good to get that win because we weren't picked to win that game or anything like that. So there was that type of loss, knowing or that type of win, knowing that we gave it all we had, and like I said, we're all pretty tired on that bus ride home. Yeah, long 5-hour bus ride home, but that was definitely that's probably mine.
That's good, man. I love it. I was actually that you brought up 2 things. I thought that shoulda, coulda, woulda feeling. I think is one of the things that comprise one of the heartbreaking losses, and then the victories are the ones that you're empty. You've put it all out there.
And we like I said, it wasn't just me. It was a lot of guys in the team, and that's something I remember too. Is just how much everybody was just so drained, and we were just and also excited because it was like we were able to look at our teammates and go, we just did that for each other, and it's week 1. You know what I mean? Like, let's keep going. And obviously we were all tired, but that was just that sense of camaraderie and teamwork and what we had that year was pretty special. So
that's awesome. That's cool. That's good.
It was good stuff, man.
Good
Good teammates.
Good teammates. Get some more of those. Britton was on that team?
Yeah, Britton was on that team. Yeah,
he'll get him back. We'll get Britton's Bigs going.
Britton's Big is coming back.
It's coming back. We got a few things coming back. We got a couple episodes in the hopper. We got Morningside tight end coach, run game coordinator. What is he? O-line
stuff. Yep, Coach
Jay Schlichty. He'll be on next week. And then we also got coming up Coach Seth Dameron at Allen Hancock JC. So we got some guests already lined up, ready to roll. We'll be back with some more episodes. Everything we talked about today, things like mental health, scheme stuff that we really like.
And if anybody out there, you got an NFL team or a college team that you'd want to talk more with us about, let's send us some stuff. Let's get
background ideas.
We'll have some background ideas for your favorite team. If you're a fan of a team, we can get you back there.
We can do like a background thing for like their team. Like, hey, throw up, hey, I'll give you $10 to put the Broncos on there. My name's Josh Garcia. Here's $10.
Yeah. So we're waiting for Coach Garcia's in some money. We'll get you.
Buy some advertising space for your favorite NFL team who clearly needs the money.
Who needs it? They need it. Yeah. Or your family, whatever you want to promote. Yeah. You want to pay us? We'll put anything up there as long as it's appropriate. As long as it's appropriate, we'll put it up there.
$10.
Get on the episode.
$1 a minute. $1 a minute. You get whatever.
Yeah, because those minutes they're going quick.
They're going quick.
phone calls already are coming in. This isn't even live yet.
And it's pizza. It's largely all pizza.
Yeah,
right now pizza's leading the NIL. And
Guidos, we got Little C's, we got Moose's Tooth, we got all sorts of stuff. So.
Oh, well, that was episode 1. Go Jets. Hey, one thing I needed to shout out. We lose a heartbreaker is kind of what the questions were about, right?
Yeah.
And I come home and hanging on my door is a Joe Namath replica ring. I've been wearing this thing like
I was gonna say I don't think I've seen you with that thing off yet, man.
No, it's on there.
For the last couple of weeks, man.
Shout out to our DB's coach Justin Szymanski. He hooked it up big time. That made my day. I couldn't not talk about that in the episode. In case you're wondering what the Gotti ring is, it is Jets Day. It's Jets night. Whatever happened Still support him.
Not a ring he won. Not a ring.
It's not a ring I won. Not a ring that was even
Super
within
Bowl
20 years of
III.
my birth. It was
Victory.
Super Bowl III.
It's still something to be proud of, though.
Still more than zero.
Count it.
Still more than zero. So anyway, I'm Timbo B. Davis, and I coach football, and he's
Connor B. Feckley, and I coach football. That's season 2.
what season? I don't know. What do we used to say?
That's it, though.
That's it?
Or we'll talk. Yeah,
Yeah,
where's the music at?
Yeah, I don't know. Roll it.
Anyway, yeah, we'll be back. We'll have some more stuff, more coaches, more excitement, more football. But
More excitement, more football.